Hello, and welcome to An English Learner. In today's video, we are learning the past simple passive. We are also making some example sentences about inventions. Subscribe. And let's get started. Let's look at the sentences in active and passive voice. Alexander Bell invented a telephone. A telephone was invented by Alexander Bell. An Englishman made the first washing machine. The first washing machine was made by an Englishman. Cecil Booth created the first vacuum cleaner. The first vacuum cleaner was created by Cecil Booth. Bartholomew Thimonier patented a sewing machine in 1830. A sewing machine was patented in 1830. Thomas Edison invented a light bulb. A light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison. We use passive voice to emphasize an action. We also use passive voice when we don't know who does an action or it's not important. To say who does an action, we add by. Passive voice is formed of the verb to be and past participle. We need was for singular and were for plural. Past simple passive is used to talk about an action which was done in the past, yesterday, last Friday, last week, ago, etc. We begin a sentence with a subject, add was or were, and a verb plus ed. Like worked, washed, stayed, etc. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming. The Eiffel Tower was designed by Gustav Eiffel. A pen was invented by Laszlo Biro. The first microscope was created by Zacharias Janssen. To make a negative sentence, we start with a subject, add was, or were, then not, and a verb with ed. Baseball was not played by the Romans. Coins were not used by prehistoric people. The first university was not opened in the USA. Spaghetti was not cooked in the UK in the 6th century. To ask a question with a regular verb, we begin with was, or were, add a subject, and a verb with ed. Was the first car manufactured in China? Was new technology developed by the company? Was America discovered by Christopher Columbus? Were coins invented by the Greeks? We begin an affirmative sentence with a subject, add was, or were, and a past participle of an irregular verb. Past participle is the third form of an irregular verb, which you can find in the irregular verb table. Like been, gone, had, met, etc. The first computer was built in the USA. Romeo and Juliet was written by William Shakespeare. The pyramids were built in Egypt. Gunpowder was made by the Chinese. To make a negative sentence, we begin with a subject, add was, or were, then not, and past participle. I Will Survive was not sung by Britney Spears. Smartphones were not sold by ancient Romans. Photos were not taken by ancient Greeks. ICT was not taught in the 18th century. To ask a question, we begin with was, or were, add a subject, and past participle. Were laptops bought by people in the past? Was Latin spoken by the Romans? Were castles built in Europe? Was the log cut with the chainsaw? What's the most useful invention? Write in comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to learn English.